Daniel 10 verse 1. I'm going to read it out. We've got this moment where Daniel is spending time before the Lord and he gets this crazy vision. In the 3rd year of Cyrus, king of Persia, a revelation was given to Daniel, who was called Belteshazzar. Its message was true and it concerned a great war. The understanding of the message came to him in a vision. At that time, I, Daniel, mourned. Everybody say mourned. He mourned for 3 weeks. It says, I ate no choice food, no meat or wine touched my lips. Talk about mourning. And I used no lotions at all until 3 weeks were over. Any guys that can relate, you lotion lovers? On the 24th day of the 1st month, as I was standing on the bank of the great river, the Tigris, I looked up, and there before me was a man dressed in linen. So this is happening in a vision on the 24th day, with a belt of fine gold from Uphaz around his waist. His body was like topaz, his face like lightning, his eyes like flaming torches, freaky vision. His arms and legs like the gleam of burnished bronze, and his voice like the sound of a multitude. I, Daniel, was the only one who saw the vision. Those who were with me did not see it, but such terror overwhelmed them that they fled and they hid themselves. So I was left alone, gazing at this great vision. I had no strength left. My face turned deathly pale, and I was helpless. Okay, so this is obviously an angel. This isn't something, it's something supernatural is happening. Verse 9, it says, Then I heard him speaking, and as I listened, I fell into a deep sleep, my face to the ground, and a hand touched me and set me trembling on my hands and knees. And he said, Daniel, you who are highly esteemed, consider carefully the words I'm about to speak to you, and stand up, for I have now been sent to you. When he said this to me, I stood up trembling. Verse 12 says, Then he continued, Do not be afraid, Daniel, since the first day, everybody say the first day, since the first day that you set your mind to gain understanding and to humble yourself before God, your words were heard. And I have come in response to them. But the prince of the Persian kingdom resisted me. 21 days he resisted me. Okay, remember we're talking about an angel. So this isn't some actual prince. We're talking about the princes of the air. We're talking about supernatural principalities of darkness. And in the spiritual realm. Then it says, Then Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me because I was detained there with the king of Persia. Okay, so we know Michael, the one angel here, messenger, listed by name is Michael, known as Michael the archangel. So we're pulling this together and realizing there's some spiritual warfare going on. From day 1 to day 21, there's this whole thing happening. And on day 21, now I have come to explain to you what will happen to people in your future, for the vision concerns a time yet to come. While he was saying this to me, I bowed my face toward the ground and I was speechless. Then one who looked like a man touched my lips, and I opened my mouth and I began to speak. And I said to the one standing before me, I am overcome with anguish because of this vision, my Lord. I feel very weak. How can I? It's like sometimes we're so overcome with anguish about the words that God has given us and the things that God's revealing to us and the things he's drawing us into. How can I, your servant, talk with you, my Lord? My strength is gone. I can hardly breathe. Again, the one who looked like a man touched me and gave me strength. Do not be afraid. You who are highly esteemed, he said. Peace. Be strong now. Be strong. And when he spoke to me, I was strengthened and said, Speak, my Lord, since you have given me strength. Okay, this is wild. This is like some crazy psychedelic sounding experience going on in the Bible where like there's these crazy looking angels that have come to this man. I'm like, okay, how is this relevant to what I'm going through and contending for this promise? Let me tell you. This was pretty much my message 2 weeks ago, but we may be discouraged, but God is calling us to lean in. Okay, so Daniel was burdened with this word. And so often what we do when you're burdened with a dream or a word or something that God's given to you or he's calling you into, I'm telling you how many times, I can't tell you how many times I've been discouraged, and instead of leaning into God, I leant away into food or whatever else there was, like friends, family, TV, all sorts of stuff. I enjoyed myself. And thinking that it would fulfill me, but it never does. You know, this morning, Elias woke up at like 5:30, and he woke up like crying. And I was hoping he'd just fall back asleep. I was in the bathroom at the time, and I realized Elias had stopped crying after a little bit. And when I got out, Vanessa had picked up Elias out of his cot and taken him to her room. I'm like, Vanessa, what are you doing? He's like, he's going to have a terrible day if he's up from this early. And Vanessa's like, no, he was scared. I think he had a bad dream. And you see, Vanessa's like, Vanessa loves this child. She's like, I can't let this kid suffer. Obviously, I've got issues and I don't love him enough or something. I don't know. But Vanessa hears his cries. And you know what? Elias knows, it's so natural for a child to lean into their parents when something's going wrong. I think Vanessa said that he said, what did he say? Like, I don't like it, or oh no. So I think there was something in the room, or you were scared. I don't know. And Vanessa's like, she runs to his aid. That's the delight of a parent, to run to their child's aid. And that's what happened in that moment. It's so natural for that. And when I walked in to the room, Elias is like, hi, Dada. Like, I just grabbed him and chucked him back in bed. Lord, forgive me. But it's natural for a child to lean into their parents, and it's natural for a good parent to tend to them. How much greater is our Father in heaven? He knows, Elias knows that his mum has a soft spot for his cries. God has a softer spot for your cries and the things that you're going through. And I'm telling you, like, stop self-medicating. We love coffee, right? Coffee culture, Australia. How many? Okay, who here has had at least a shot of coffee today? Awesome. Let's go 2 shots. Yeah. 3 shots? Yeah. Nice. 4 shots? Yeah. 4 shots is 2 long blacks. Surely not 5 shots. All right. 5 shots. There's a kid down the back. 5 shots. We got. All right. Awesome. But here's the thing, right? Like, we enjoy, like, I need to have coffee in the morning. This is a problem. Like, Lord, deliver Australia, because we have the curse of coffee in this nation. But man's real best friend is coffee. But caffeine, it wakes you up. It gives you energy for the day. It motivates you. And it accomplishes this by blocking the sleep-promoting receptors in your brain called adenosine receptors. So what's going on is you're actually truly really tired. Like, have you ever, like, accidentally, or you found yourself unable to have coffee one day, and you're just an absolute, like, jerk? You're a mess. You're terrible. You're no longer saved, surely, because the things that are coming out of your mouth and the way that you're treating people, it's ridiculous. And sometimes, like, to try and because I work here at church, I get free coffees at the coffee machine. So sometimes, rather than quickly grabbing a coffee before I come to work or something, I just try and drive to church and I make a coffee at the coffee machine. But it usually means that I'm pretty irritable on the roads on the way to church. I'll just put it that way. And so it's not a good thing. But why am I saying this? You still need sleep. Coffee is not the answer. Everything else, like Adam and Eve, they lent into this fruit. Adam and Eve, when they sinned, they lent away from God. That's what we spoke about 2 weeks ago. They lent away from God. It's our natural thing when we got sin and shame. We lean away from God. But the centurion, again, we spoke about this 2 weeks ago, he leant into God with humility, with desire, with desperation. And here's the key in verse 2. Mourning, when it says Daniel mourned for however long, 21 days, for 3 weeks, it says. When Daniel mourned for 3 weeks, it wasn't just this depressive state that he was in. The angel saw it as, in verse 12, humbling himself before God to gain understanding. Imagine that's what our grieving and our mourning looks like. It looked like getting before God broken and real and fair and vulnerable, but to gain understanding. To say, God, I'm done. How do I get to this place? It's lean in instead of lean out. Amen? And so this cool 21-day, what's the 21-day result? The angel says, don't be afraid, you who are highly esteemed. Peace, be strong now, be strong. And then Daniel says, Lord, you have given me strength. And after 21 days, strength is returned to this man. Strength is returned. One thing that comes to mind as well, just like a little tangent here, is that, man, our fight is not against flesh and blood. Ephesians 6 talks about this. It says, put on the full armor of God, for our fight is not against flesh and blood. What's going on here is there's spiritual warfare happening, things that we don't even see. In Hebraic literature, they wrote knowing that it was like a normal thing that areas, regions, kingdoms, they saw it as there was literally a spiritual principality hovering over that region or over that power. That's the way they perceived it. And so it just reminds us, man, this isn't some fight that you can get done by power or might. It's got to be by His Spirit. Amen?